are here in good spirits, in good humour. Plenty of talk outside this game, but all the action on the pitch is what matters this evening. Do not scratch your eyes. Kickoff comes next.
At Bet365, we're here to keep every play safe with Bet365.
So we are set for the final match of our Championship playoff semi-finals, the second leg here at St Mary's. And I can tell you, stood here pitchside round now, the atmosphere is incredible. It's all on the line there for a place at Wembley Stadium to play for a place in the Premier League, the playoff final, a week on Saturday. Joby and Curtis are alongside me. I'm not sure if you can hear me, but this is some atmosphere. Joby, you've played in this game, so have you, Curtis. Tell me, you're sat in that dressing room right now. How are you feeling?
Well, listen, depending on what side you're on, from a Middlesbrough perspective, coming away for a second leg and being 0-0, it's a cliche, but it's absolutely true. How quickly can we get this place quietened down? Can we settle into the game and start having some good moments? Again, for Southampton, they're going to want to come out the traps and start well, because the longer it goes on, with that added pressure and expectation of being at home, we saw it a little bit last night. I know, Kurt, you were at the game, and as an away player, you start feeling that as the game goes on, that sort of expectation building.
That's exactly it. The more you can stay in the game as an away team, you keep the other team quiet. You know, I was fortunate enough, I came into the home leg with a 3-0 lead. We went down 2-0 in the first 25 minutes, and then it's about the resolve, getting your composure back and understanding that, listen, you've got to see the game out, and then ultimately if you can get that final whistle and you're on the right side of it, you've got a nice trip to Wembley with a chance of the Premier League.
Okay, well, who knows what we'll look forward this evening then. We are set at St Mary's, so let's get to our commentary team to take us through it. Don Goodman, and good evening to Gary Weaver.
Yes, thank you, Michelle. Good evening. And so they meet again, a playoff that has become more than a playoff. But while Spygate waits for its conclusion in the corridors of power, the pitch will tonight, for now, decide who will step forward and contest the richest game of football on the planet. 200 million reasons why these two are desperate to get there, why a city on the south coast and a town on the Tees are holding their breath, and why people are dressed like that. These are the playoffs, and they mean everything. The greatest drama in sport, and these are the nights when these ties really do explode. Fans coming here, we think in fancy dress. I was accused of wearing fancy dress as I walked in, but I am not. But this place, Don, is at fever pitch.
Yeah, look, I mean, there was an incredible atmosphere at the Riverside, and there's an incredible atmosphere here, as there was always going to be. It was a brilliant game last Saturday afternoon, and I think this one has the potential to be even better.
But he stride out here on the south coast into a stadium which is shaking. The unmistakable sound of the playoffs, the unmistakable tension of playoff football. Win or bust, no middle ground now. On to the teams, and Southampton changed 3 from the side which drew at the Riverside on Saturday. Ross Stewart replaces Kyle Larin in attack. Stewart did make a difference when he came on in Teesside, as did both Shea Charles and Kuriyu Matsuki. They replaced Flynn Downs and Tom Fellows, who, like Larin, dropped to the bench. 8 of this Southampton squad tonight were involved in their playoff semi-final second leg win over West Bromwich Albion 2 years ago. As for Middlesbrough, they stick with the same team that played so well for the first hour at the Riverside. Luke Ayling was immense, conducting the orchestra and staying close to Finn Azaz. Tommy Conway had a couple of huge chances in that game, which he didn't take. He has, though, scored 5 goals in his last 7 games. Matt Targett is from Eastleigh, just down the road from here. He used to have a Southampton season ticket. He's hoping to rip the golden playoff ticket away from his boyhood club tonight. Hayden Hackney is here, but isn't involved because of that ongoing calf injury. Well, the handshake was frosty between the two on Teesside. It's warmed up a bit, tepid tonight. But we are good to go, and Kim Hellberg didn't hold back in his post-match comments describing what Southampton are alleged to have done as cheating, but he was calmer and cooler yesterday. Now he wants the football to take over. Taylor Harwood-Bellis struck the crossbar in the second half and Southampton on Saturday when they did announce their arrival in that second half on Teesside. Don, it was your birthday at the weekend. Your gift was watching the first leg. What did you make of it?
Yeah, look, I'm just blown away with the intensity with which Middlesbrough played the game in the first hour. When you look at that, yes, there's a little small spell at the start of the second half. Kyle Larin had a headed opportunity, but apart from that, for an hour, Middlesbrough absolutely dominated Southampton, but they couldn't keep it going. And when you look at those numbers, you see the drop-off in that final 30-plus minutes. And I just wonder, does that give Kim Hellberg a little bit of a conundrum, or do they just go and try and go for it in that first hour again tonight? We will see.
Happy birthday, by the way. More years than goals now?
Yeah, swiftly on.
An incredible atmosphere inside St Mary's, just as we experienced on Teesside on Saturday, a place Finn Azaz knows well. Now Finn Azaz looking to bring down his former club. And Ross Stewart going from the off here tonight. Who will be the hero? Someone out there will be. We play to a finish tonight. Southampton attacking the chapel stand end of St Mary's in the first half here. That's the stand where Matt Targett used to sit with his season ticket. He, though, playing for Middlesbrough here tonight. And the start will be interesting here because Middlesbrough went after Southampton right from the off on Teesside. How about tonight here on the south coast?
Yeah, well, different atmosphere in terms of the boot is firmly on the other foot in terms of these home fans. They are right up for it, just as the Middlesbrough ones were on Saturday. Can his team find a way of just taking a little bit of sting out of these supporters?
It was 1-1 when these two met here back in September. Two different head coaches then as to now. And here's Nathan Wood, one of those who's facing his former club tonight. Born in Ingleby, Barwick, around about 5 miles from the Riverside Stadium. Long by Peretz. There's Kasper Janda.
One of the things that struck me about Southampton is how quickly they get off to good starts. 30 goals in the first half an hour of matches they've scored this season. And a lot of them have been in this brilliant 19-game championship unbeaten run.
Yeah, they were making swift starts when Tonda Ecker took interim charge back in November with Southampton. Then they levelled off and then came on strong again as the season came to a conclusion. There's Luke Ayling, who is so good stepping into midfield from that centre-back position on Saturday.
Yeah, look, he won't be fazed. Experienced, brave. Expect more of that from him.
There's Targett. Slip from Janda, it almost dropped to Strelec. He goes down, and he stays down. Whittaker tries to get involved. The referee tonight is Andy Madley. Ayling. As Middlesbrough look to settle down here. Strelec is back on his feet. Ayling hunted down by Ross Stewart, who looks to leave his calling card. Whittaker involved. There's Britton. McGree's there with him. No time to dwell. Manning takes care of business for Southampton. Dale Fry, a Teessider.
Oh, Yanda's just flown into a challenge there on the far side. He slips here. It's Matski, isn't it? He has a swing and a swipe. Doesn't appear to get an awful load of the ball either, and he does keep David Strelets. That is an interesting one. That's why the Middlesbrough striker stayed down. He's maybe a lucky boy.
Enough for you to get the penalty?
We've seen him given, that's for sure.
Dale Fry looks to win that first contact. There's Ayling. Carried in by Ayling. Perrett gets a punch on it. Right now it's Middlesbrough asking the questions.
Yeah, they've settled well here.
There's Aidan Morris. McGree. Target. Bitten on the move here. It's Riley McGree! A Teesside roar rises up into the Southampton sky above. Middlesbrough are rising up. And miles from home, back home right now, there will be chaos.
Wow, what a dream start for Middlesbrough. And they were asking the question, they warmed to the task very, very early here. Controlled a little bit of the ball. Found Callum Britton, acres of space. Look at the numbers, Dale Fry's up, McGree's in there, Melander's up there, but it falls to Riley McGree. Still got an awful lot to do, but look at this is poor from Southampton. Britton's got the freedom of St Mary's, but that there, it's a smart finish. He keeps it low, and he just spins it into that far corner. It is a brilliant finish, and what a start for Middlesbrough. But a long, long way to go. We have to reiterate that.
The stuff of dreams on the start here for Kim Hellberg and Middlesbrough tonight. And they have cashed in on a good spell. Something they have been accused of not doing in recent times. There's Tommy Conway. Target. Target again. Chance to measure this cross. Deep towards that far post, and it did go behind before Whittaker got to it.
Well, not resting on their laurels either. Straight away on the attack. Home fans just trying to rile their team to gain a bit of momentum. Borough started brilliantly here.
And once again, it is Riley McGree involved. He's a player who can go under the radar, Riley McGree. Not at the Riverside or amongst the Middlesbrough supporters, but outside of the club maybe. There's Aidan Morris. Now it's Whittaker. Middlesbrough mean business here.
Oh, brilliant. I mean, I wondered how they'd go about it. You know, whether they'd rein that intensity in a little bit because they couldn't sustain it. But they've got the lead, and if they get a second, they'd really fancy themselves.
Loose that time from Riley McGree.
I don't know how Callum Britton ends up with the freedom of St Mary's, but he does, and he picks a beautiful pass. That's what that is. It's not a cross, it's a pass. He spots Riley McGree, who takes care of the rest. Outstanding football from the away team.
Well, he's had his troubles with injury, which have hampered him at Middlesbrough, Riley McGree, but he's shown what he's about there, and he's making runs again into space here, hoping to be found. Britton, Wood in the way that time, but nowhere to go for Southampton.
Well, this is how it was at the Riverside, on the front foot, anticipating where the ball's going to snap in Middlesbrough. Southampton need to get a grip here.
Shea Charles with that clearance, but again, it's gone straight to a Middlesbrough boot.
Well, it's Aidan Morris. He is absolutely running this game of football at the moment, and Middlesbrough have to get a grip here. They have to get on top of Aidan Morris.
Easier said than done. There's Tommy Conway. Moves away from Yanda, but Yanda stealing the ball back for Southampton. There's Cienza. Stewart makes a run ahead of him. They try to find Casper Yanda, and Luke Ayling picks up. How open is this game already?
Yeah, you knew it'd be a cracker. I don't think I've seen either of these two teams in a dull game. I know it was 0-0 at the Riverside, but it certainly wasn't a dull game.
Southampton just looking to try and steady their feet here, having been hit inside the opening 10 minutes.
This is the way Middlesbrough play, isn't it? Home and away. Nothing changes. Only recently, certainly in the last 10 games, if you compare and contrast the last 10 home games to the last 10 away, they've done better, Middlesbrough, away from home. Better results, more points, scored more goals. It seems that when teams go to the Riverside and show up, they've struggled. But away from home, they get a little bit more freedom. And there it is, look, just that one defeat, which was at Coventry City.
The crossroads of their season and Coventry's that particular night back in February, when Middlesbrough went there as championship leaders, but were deposed that night, and Coventry did not look back. There's Whittaker. It's Whittaker, and it's the side netting.
Oh, he's gone to give the keeper the eyes. He's gone to whip it into that near post. I'm not sure it's the right option, but again, he's got Ryan Manning 1v1, and how positive is he? Really positive. Maybe that's all he had to go for, that near post. Can't quite hit the target. You would think the goalkeeper would have had it covered.
3 goals in his last 4 games for Morgan Whittaker, who has come back from injury fiery and full of confidence.
Well, look at this. It's almost deja vu with what we saw at the Riverside. The only difference is Middlesbrough have a goal.
Dale Fry in a battle with Ross Stewart tonight, having taken care of Kyle Larron at the Riverside on Saturday. He won that battle. Tonight, a different battle against Ross Stewart.
It's been a whirlwind, isn't it? Take a breath.
There's Casper Yanda, who has shone on the big occasions for Southampton this season, most notably the FA Cup semi-final against Manchester City. Manning bursting forward. Manning with the ball in. Stewart! Couldn't convert. Huge chance for Southampton.
Oh, he has to score. I hate to be critical of forwards, but he simply has to score. I mean, Manning, wonderful delivery. He's got to do better. You could argue he's on the stretch, but he's in full control. He's got full compass. All he has to do is hit the target. What an opportunity. They don't come much better. I wonder if Southampton will regret that.
Well, he's had his injury problems during his time at Southampton, but he's been playing on a more regular basis this season. Ross Stewart scoring on a regular basis as well. 7 goals in his last 15 games. And a big, big chance to strike there for Southampton. Bree getting the better of Conway. Azaz, Southampton get the free kick. Now on Shea Charles, and the card is out here for Riley McGree.
You can see by the referee's reaction, he's reluctantly got no choice to give a yellow card for this. You have to draw the line somewhere. You want to take into consideration the occasion, but he's very late. Andy Madley perfectly positioned to see this, and he has to give a yellow card. Got no choice.
So a yellow card for Riley McGree, and we're seeing the strength in depth of Southampton's squad here. The fact that Tom de Ecker can bring in Shea Charles and leave Flynn Downs on the bench tonight.
I think they made such a difference, didn't they, the substitutes, when they came onto the field. He's bound to make a few changes.
There's Finn Azaz up against his former club. Harwood Bellis trying to release Bree. And he finds Bree, who's looking for a teammate in the middle. There's Azaz, he might fancy it. Next to find Bree instead. Bree with that cross. Charles, who is capable of the spectacular as we've seen this season. Leo Cienza likewise, he's made room for the cross here. Matski, Bree was coming in just behind him.
I think he's took it off his teammate's head, hasn't he? But I know he missed the chance, Ross Stewart, but it just seems to have settled Southampton down. The last few minutes sparked them into life. This is much better from them.
Manning. Southampton ended the season unbeaten in 19 championship games. A couple of seasons ago under Russell Martin, they were unbeaten in 25 championship games, so they've done it before in this league.
He's been rewarded for that success, hasn't he? Recognition, winning awards.
Yeah, Ben Garner sat alongside him. He's made an impact since arriving in January. Part of Tonda Eckert's coaching staff. Southampton fans all around us, rising to their feet and standing shoulder to shoulder with the players who play for them.
Yeah, this is excellent from the fans. They know the players need them.
Riley McGree's made the run through the middle here. The flag does go up.
Yeah, went too early, but again, it's that run from deep that if you time it right, you only need to get it right once and you are clean through. Look where he comes from. He's the wrong side of Shea Charles, who must be grateful that the Middlesbrough player has just strayed offside.
Yanda, here's Azaz. Luke Ayling was the closest to him throughout the match on Saturday. Infamous day, match day -2 as they call it these days, before the first leg, when Middlesbrough alleged that a Southampton employee was filming their training session. They were doing the bulk of their tactical work, which did include coming up with a bit of a plan to stop Finn Azaz. Hence the reaction. Now, where'd you go and buy that from?
Somebody somewhere. It's very innovative.
Southampton fans standing out in their camouflage gear. Aidan Morris, a drop of the shoulder which has invited trouble. It's Yanda, but he couldn't find Azaz.
Well, there's confidence and there's craziness, and that was crazy. Ridiculous risk. Aidan Morris just took, got away with it. Lucky boy. A little hand of acknowledgement. He will not be doing that again, but he must know that he's marked and he's under pressure, but he tries to turn, which is an incredibly reckless decision that he has just got away with, and he knows it.
I think he's got enough credit in the bank.
Oh,
Aidan Morris.
You bet. He has been unbelievable.
Even more responsibility in this team with no Hayden Hackney still. There goes Riley McGree. The referee's played the advantage. Whittaker makes the run from out to in. Strelets.
A better touch from David Strelets. Required.
Well, he's still not involved, but he's made the journey down with his teammates from Teesside Airport to the south coast for this.
Fast and frenetic. He would love to be out there involved in that.
Championship Player of the Year, Hayden Hackney.
Rightly so.
There is though a feeling that Middlesbrough are just about getting to grips with playing without him. The lead here. Cienza, as Ash tries to get to it. Fry steps in again for Middlesbrough. Yanda. There's Bree. Yanda continues his run. Bree again. There's Charles. Southampton's turn to enjoy a spell of possession here.
It's okay, Middlesbrough won't mind that. Their manager, they've got a good shape.
Harwood Bellis. There's Shea Charles. We'll drop into that right-back position, releasing James Bree further up the pitch, which is what's happened. This is Kuriyu Matsuki. Conway looking to lead the breakout for Middlesbrough.
It's all well and good dropping in as a forward. But when you win it back, you haven't got an out ball. What's the problem there for Tommy Conway?
There's Charles again. Wood. Leo Cienza. He's risen from the 5th tier of Swedish football to being within a couple of games of the Premier League, as has Kim Hellberg.
He needs to be better than that. We know the quality that he possesses, but that was a cross hit more in hope than expectation.
Azaz. Give him a bit of advice from the Southampton supporters. Manning. There's Manning again, faced by Whittaker. Now Bree, whose return from the loan at Charlton has been key for Southampton too in their rise in the second half of the season. They worked this well, and the referee happy with what he saw as Matsuki hits the deck.
The referee spot on. It's a good pick out, isn't it? Outside of the left boot from Ryan Manning, spots Matsuki, and his touch gets away from him. And he throws himself down, not a penalty. Good tracking back from Aidan Morris.
Can play out wide. Kuriyu Matsuki also likes to step in field as well and playing the number 8 position.
Well, he has literally been all across the front line. Matsuki, he's everywhere, literally. Hard to manage, hard to pick up.
Hull City, no doubt, watching on tonight, having booked their place in the richest game of them all, the Championship playoff final. Millwall feeling the pain last night, etched across their face after a fantastic season. But a season which came to a shuddering halt last night, and it's Hull City who will welcome one of these two to Wembley. Charles. Bree. Dale Fry in the way again and just got away from Tommy Conway, who's frustrated with himself. There goes Manning again. There's Morris again. Whittaker takes the hit and gets the free kick.
Yeah, clever use of the body. Matsuki fell for it. Just takes a little bit of the sting out. Middlesbrough have to try and get back to controlling the ball a little bit more, certainly the last 5 or 10 minutes. Southampton have wrestled control of certainly territory and possession. He won't like that. He likes his teams to dominate that area.
Southampton 4-4-2 out of possession with Cienza alongside Stewart and Matsky, who we thought would start on the right, on the left. Yanda punished that time.
Middlesbrough already taking their time, the referee being alerted by the home fans.
Well, it's role reversal from what happened at the Riverside on Saturday.
Absolutely.
By the way, that goal from Riley McGree, the first goal that Middlesbrough have scored in a playoff game in 7 matches. And they're looking for a second here. Dale Fry again, the inevitable target. Here comes Matt Target to take this throw. He was once a mascot here for Southampton in a game against Barnsley back in 2007, a game which Southampton lost by 3-2. Target involved again against his boyhood club. McGree linking up with Tommy Conway. There's Callum Britton. Britton again, fired forward to Tommy Conway. It's Conway who is seen off for now.
Well, all comes because they string a few passes together and they're patient, they're confident in possession, and eventually find that little run from Tommy Conway in behind Yanda. Good movement.
"2,000 Middlesbrough fans making themselves heard inside St Mary's. Ayling makes the run towards the near post. Fired back in by Matt Target. Wood getting involved for Southampton. There's Luke Ayling. Whittaker trying to create a shooting opportunity from where he's so prolific. There's Ayling again. Whittaker. Oh, it's a burst forward from Callum Britton, who looks to test Peretz, and Peretz right behind him.
Very good from Middlesbrough.
I think his wife Bethany's forgiven him for forgetting her birthday on Saturday. Didn't even wish Bethany a happy birthday. He was so focused on the playoff first leg, but Middlesbrough being the kind of club they are, sent Bethany a bouquet of flowers to make up for it.
Bailed him out.
Big time.
A little bit-ish. Well, if you remember, Taylor Harwood-Bellis struck the frame of the goal at the Riverside. It was because Sarmiento, Middlesbrough, gave away a silly, cheap free kick, and that's clumsy from Luke Ayling. And you know you're up against a team that really excel from set pieces. You have to avoid that kind of a giveaway.
Well, real concern here for Leo Cienza, who was on the end of that and is writhing around in pain on the St Mary's turf here. Such a vital player for Southampton this season, Leo Cienza.
Yeah, he looks in pain. It's just their knees come together, don't they? Straight away, Cienza clutches that left knee there. Look, it's awkward, it's horrible, it's accidental. Let's hope he's okay.
Yeah, concern here for Tom de Ecker. One of his star men still down and struggling at the moment. Signed from Heidenheim last summer. I mentioned earlier he was playing in the 5th tier of Swedish football. Paris FC tried to hijacked the move before he made his way to the south coast.
Well, there's the referee. He's on to Sol Bryn for the amount of time he's taking to get the ball back in play. It's good refereeing, isn't it? Quiet word.
Cienza back on his feet as the medical staff continue to treat Leo Cienza. So Southampton short-handed for now, but they have this free kick, as Don mentioned, in this really promising position from where they almost caught Middlesbrough out at the Riverside on Saturday. With Bellis striking the crossbar. He's on 7 goals for the season, Taylor Harwood-Bellis. He's looking to try and match Ryan Manning's total of 8, and it's Manning who is standing over this.
I think he's pinched a few yards, isn't he? I think infringement happened by the touchline. He's got amazing delivery with that left boot, hasn't he, Ryan Manning?
Southampton players make their moves now inside the box, and Harwood-Bellis tried to get to it, but he was seen off brilliantly by Dale Fry.
Yeah, that is such good defending from the Middlesbrough skipper. Brave.
Leo Cienza just stretching on the far side, and looks like he's about to give this a go and waiting to be waved back on by Andy Madley. And Cienza is back on the pitch for Southampton.
He's not moving great. Keep an eye on that.
He's just trying to make a bit of a jog, really, Leo Cienza, but was hobbling heavily. And now Middlesbrough have stolen in and won the ball back with Tommy Conway. McGree to his right, and Whittaker, Target on the outside. Here is Matt Target, who will settle for the corner, but Cienza is still hobbling.
Excellent break. Promising situation. But it's not looking good for him, it really isn't. This long after that collision, if you haven't run it off, you're still hobbling, I'd suggest you've got a problem.
Well, he's been through so much in his career and his life, Leo Cienza. He will fight to the last to try and stay on this pitch. Whittaker with the outswinging corner. And it's dropped to Callum Britton through the crowd, a touch! The flag is up as Fry made the connection, and Peretz was down sharply in any case.
Yeah, great improvisation from Dale Fry.
Here is Leo Cienza. That won't help him as he's pushed to the ground.
He's still hobbling though.
Harwood-Bellis. There's Charles. Azaz moved on sweetly, it's Bree. And Stewart goes down. Claims he was impeded, the referee says no.
Looks soft. Like he went down very easily.
There's Tommy Conway. Stepping away from Yanda. McGree's up there, Strelitz is up there, and Whittaker. Tommy Conway, and it comes to nothing in the end as Charles made the dash back.
And McGree was on as well. And what a game of football, what a half an hour. Everything and more that we could have hoped for.
Playoff football at its best. Cienza. There's Harwood-Bellis. Through the gap to Kuriyu Matski. Wood. Made his debut for Middlesbrough at the age of 16, the youngest player. Manning trying to step through. Stewart. Miranda was there keeping him company, and this time the free kick goes against Southampton.
You've got to be subtle if you're going to use your body in that way. He's complaining to the referee. He felt he was hauled to the ground. He certainly made it look as if he was. Look, it's a tiny little shirt pull by Callum Britton, but you do not get penalties for that. It's a dangerous game. Maybe just about let's go just in time, but dangerous.
Fury on the face of Tonda Eckert. He arrived here as Southampton's under-21s boss in the summer from Genoa. He's worked alongside Patrick Vieira, Alberto Gilardino, Miroslav Klose, 3 World Cup winners. He's had the top job here on a permanent basis since December. He knows Johannes Spors from their days together at Leipzig. Johannes Spors, who encouraged Tonda Eckert to apply for the under-21s job here. They always had it in mind that one day he would take the top job here, but it happened quicker than expected. Strelets. Azaz. Stewart's involved. McGree will get to this. Morris trying to pitch the ball back for Middlesbrough. The temperature rising.
The temperature rose a long, long time ago, maybe days.
Strelets involved with Wood. These two did finish locked together on 80 points in the regular season. Southampton elbowing Middlesbrough out of the way on the final day, courtesy of a better goal difference. But at one stage back in February, Southampton were 18 points behind Middlesbrough.
It's been a remarkable second half to the season, and that's why in the 19-game championship unbeaten run, Southampton came in here as favourites, but it was never going to be straightforward, and he would have known that.
Well, a card shown to Nathan Wood for dissent. Gets away from Bree, but it's collected by Finn Azaz. Bree stepping in, thought he was fouled.
Yeah, well, he was. The referee's playing advantage.
He has now. Ayling. Anderson Malander, nicely done by him, not once but twice, and a third time. Again the advantage played. There's Aidan Morris. Casper Yander. There's Leo Cienza. Southampton looking to hit back in this contest here, and Cienza gets the free kick.
He needs to calm down, Luke Ayling. Not happy. I think he's talked himself into the book, has he, here?
Well, Dale Fry wearing the captain's armband tonight.
Yeah.
He's just trying to save Ayling in a way from himself here.
He was fuming.
Well, still, the arguments rage on. And Luke Ayling needs to watch himself here.
There's all kinds going on out there. Luke Ayling just needs to go away. He needs to calm down and he just needs to go away.
Well, the referee just moving away from the incident, heading towards the far touchline.
He's pointing at somebody. Something's happened.
Well, again, Dale Fry is just trying to keep Luke Ayling away from the Southampton players as the referee speaks to both head coaches. Tom de Eckert not too impressed with what he's hearing. Kim Hellberg now having words with Tom de Eckert, and they are having to be separated here. And this, at the moment, is on the verge of exploding. 85 ashes across two.
Well, something's happened that we are not currently party to out there. I don't know whether it's words. Something's going on out there. I think it goes beyond more than any comings together, any fouls, any free kicks, any comings together. You've got Cienza and you've got Ayling here. And then Ayling, yeah, he gets pulled up for that. Then he loses the plot a little bit. I'm not really sure why.
Well, Taylor Harwood-Bellis gets involved and maybe says something. Luke Ayling not happy with what he heard.
Well, Dale Fry just said, shut your mouth, to Taylor Harwood-Bellis.
And then this, and let's not forget the frustration and anger that's built up because of what is alleged to have happened on Teesside last week, with Middlesbrough alleging that Southampton filmed their tactical training session. Southampton charged, and that's why there may well have been a bit of frustration boiling up between the head coaches on the far side, but we don't really know what's gone on between Luke Ayling and Taylor Harwood-Bellis there. These are the playoffs, and this means more. Right now, Ryan Manning stands over this free kick as the game restarts, and Harwood-Bellis was in the mix.
I mean, his delivery from Manning is just off the scale good, isn't it? Right on the money, into a perfect area for your teammates just to go and attack it. I mean, look, Ross Stewart, had he got on the end of it, maybe the flag would have gone up, but Luke Ayling does really well just to somehow get that up and over and away.
Harwood-Bellis and Ayling in close proximity again. Cienza with the corner that time. It's dropped invitingly for Azaz. And Bryn saw it through the crowd and is right behind it.
Well, it does come through an awful lot of bodies and it's fired in low and hard. I tell you what, that's a smart stop from the goalkeeper. Couldn't have seen very much of that. Look at that. Through several bodies.
Saul Bryn, another Teessider in this Middlesbrough team. Out of play from Peretz.
I just wonder whether half-time is coming up at the right time so everybody can take a breath and just calm down because it is bubbling under here.
And over.
Yeah, calm heads needed.
There's Target. Yander gets there ahead of Morris. Yander again. Stewart goes down under the challenge of Luke Ayling. Cienza.
Yeah, crowd don't like it, but it's a foul. And he's moving well when he's involved, but when he's not involved, he's limping. Look at this. He's moving okay. And they double team him there. And then there's just a little nick on Whittaker. Yeah, when he's not involved, look, you can see clearly he's got a problem.
Well, just wonder whether Tom de Eckert has a decision to make at the break. He does have Tom Fellows on the bench here this evening. Tom Fellows, part of the West Bromwich Albion team, which lost here to Southampton in the playoffs a couple of years ago. And just like today, there was a huge bus welcome for the Southampton team that night, which held up West Bromwich Albion, and Albion were furious when they eventually were allowed to drive in and disembark their coach. It was also the night they brought the advertising hoardings, the extra hoardings in to thwart West Bromwich Albion's long throws, something they did here against Oxford this season.
Darnell Furlong. It's become the norm now, hasn't it? Moving the advertising hoardings in when somebody's got an exceptional long throw.
Yeah, I think it's 6 feet away from the pitch they have to be. A minimum. And the referee with another decision to make, and it's a death foul which Britain gives away as Cienza is floored again.
Southampton, Ryan Manning asking for more. He needs to be careful. Give players an inch and they'll want to take a mile. Callum Britton again. Feel aggrieved because it looks soft. It doesn't look a lot of contact.
Well, the half-time whistle is not coming anytime soon. 6 additional minutes at the end of this first half. Southampton looking to strike before the break here at St Mary's. Bree stands over the ball.
Shea Charles is free as a bird at the edge of the box here.
And he can hit them, as we know.
He can, yeah.
Bree sends the ball in towards Manning at the far post. And it's forced in! It's Ross Stewart! The man they call the Loch Ness Trapper with a monster goal on a monster occasion. And Southampton hit back just before the break.
Wow, huge, absolutely huge. You talk about good timing. Well, this is it for Southampton, who excel at set pieces. We know that. Manning in a world of space at the far post. It's a smart save from Sol Bryn, but you look at the way Ross Stewart attacks it. He wants it, he comes, he jumps over the top of Taylor Harwood-Bellis. And there was only ever going to be one man getting his head on the end of that, and it was always Ross Stewart. Aggressive, determined, rewarded.
Like a wrecking ball through Middlesbrough. Ross Stewart made sure that was his. And celebrates joyfully in front of the chapel stand end of St Mary's.
Well, it was never going to be straightforward for either of these two, really. We knew that.
Stewart involved again. Cienza away by Ayling, and it's Middlesbrough holding on just before the break here. Cienza. It's Shea Charles. He certainly has that in his locker, scoring from that kind of distance and even a little bit further out. Strelets. He needs a bit of support here, David Strelets. Conway trying to provide it. Target. There's McGree. Boateng. It did finish 1-1 between these two here back in September. Well, not with a game like this, on an occasion like this. Here's Tommy Conway, but Southampton get a free kick.
Oh, it's a little bit soft. It's a little bit soft.
Well, now Perez goes down as he tried to nick the ball away from Tommy Conway.
Yeah, that, for me, that is not a foul. I don't know what the goalkeeper's doing. Ridiculous. Yeah. Goalkeeper's trying to get him sent off, which is not good. But he's not happy because it wasn't a foul. And Conway was in a really good situation on the edge of the box.
Never thought I'd say this, but Adi Vivash looked like the calmest man in this stadium. On the Middlesbrough bench, Kim Hellberg has leaned on his playoff experience. Adi Vivash was part of the Coventry management team which plotted Middlesbrough's downfall in the playoffs back in 2023 when he was working alongside Mark Robbins. Shea Charles. Is there another twist before the break? Cienza trying to twist away from Ayling, who tries to prevent the corner kick, but he's been unable to. Off Southampton corner, another set piece from which they are so prolific.
Well, they absolutely are. Does well, gets back. You can see there, can't quite keep the ball in play. They need to get through this, Middlesbrough.
That's how prolific Southampton have been from set pieces this season. Well, there's a clash off the ball involving Strelets and Stewart.
Routine now, isn't it? Clashes off the ball before corners are taken, and even after they've taken.
Stewart trying to create a bit of room in the middle. Bryn tries to take command for Middlesbrough. Final few seconds of this first 45. It has been rip-roaring at St Mary's. And pause. A fabulous first 45 minutes of playoff football. Kim Hellberg's Middlesbrough hit the front thanks to a goal from Riley McGree. Southampton levelling up just before the break. Ross Stewart equalising for Southampton. There have been flashpoints, subplots are building, and Kim Hellberg may well be waiting for the referee or just making sure his players get away from the referee. As Kim Hellberg marches onto the pitch and drags Callum Britton away from the referee, and may still have a word with Andy Madley. But at the break at St Mary's, Southampton 1, Middlesbrough 1.
Here's a smooth sub. Jameson spots the EFL on Sky Sports.
Live from London, join host Nchuti Gatwa and musical guest Holly Humberstone on Saturday Night Live UK, Saturday at 10 on Sky One.
My lover stands on golden sands and watches.
7 nights in the Med from 749. I'm going to need a bigger bucket list. P&O Cruises. Holiday like never before. At all protected.
Hey, can I get 9 nuggets? 100% chicken breast. McCrispy sauce.
Your go-to's nugs. It's always been nugs. Nugs, not McCrispy. Nugs, not McCrispy.
You're not getting your McNuggets then, no? You always get the nugs. You always get the nugs. You're not getting the nugs. McCrispy! Have a McCrispy, please. McCrispy!
When you run a business, great communication is vital.
I'll just transfer you. I think I just cut them off.
Welcome to the all-new Hi 4, the business phone that's refreshingly easy to use. Now with new features like 2-touch call transfer and the ability to listen to call recordings directly from your phone. As always, it's all backed up by our UK-based support. Find out more at hihi.co.uk. Hi.
Hi.
Feel the difference with that fresh blade feeling that lasts time after time after time.
Gillette Labs, our best ever razor, with up to 30 smooth shaves per cartridge. The skin everyone wants to touch. Gillette, the best a man can get.
Ah, the Thatcher's family farm. Making cider with nothing but love. And skills. Keeping quality up. Perfection. In safe hands.
Get package holidays from £289 per person and flights from £37 one way. EasyJet. Get out there.
Third place. Top two playing tonight after we record.
Right off. I will see you tomorrow.
Surely you're a new team.
Winter. That guy's will be on the bench. What, LA? Not today. 3-0.
Now. This isn't about revenge. It's about preventing another war.
Are you scared? You should be.
This is the way.
The Mandalorian and Grogu, only in cinemas. Jameson sponsors the EFL on Sky Sports.
Welcome back, even at the break, and wow, what a first half, a pulsating first half. Curtis and Joby alongside me, Borough off to the perfect start, Joe.
Yeah, just like the first leg, came flying out the traps and were absolutely brilliant. This is such a well-worked goal, patient with the ball, switch it out, and they've given Southampton a real problem just with Ayling and Britton's position. This is a fantastic pick out, and Riley McGree, a really nice controlled finish, easy to snatch those ones. But we'll just look here again, top of the screen, Cienza, he's had a little bit of an issue over both games with who does he go to, gets dragged out. That then creates that space for Britton in the wider area. Really good combinations. And then McGree now just coming into the box, does brilliant just to pull off. And that is an intentional pass from Britton. Again, easy to mess those up, but just a real controlled, nice finish into
exactly
the corner.
that, and it's just the cleverness of Britton to find him in the first place, but then the finish, you know, he knows bodies are coming, just calmly just places it towards that back corner and gets in the bottom corner.
But the perfect response from Southampton, perfect timing for them now. You really felt a momentum shift in the stadium, didn't you?
Yeah, it was perfect timing simply because the fans were starting to get a bit edgy, you know, Luke Ayling was winding them up tight, a little bit of time waste, a little bit of gamesmanship, and then literally for this to happen just for half-time, the very worst timing for Borough, you know, it was Ayling that gave away the free kick, and then, you know, it's a good strike from Manning, hits it into the floor, and unfortunately, just as he hits it, you'll see in a second, Sol Bryn just loses his foot, and, you know, look, left foot on it, bounce into the floor, but Sol Bryn, he makes this save, great save, but then as he goes to get back up, loses his footing, and then Ross Stewart, obviously 2 yards from the line, gets about a foot higher than anyone else.
He's flying,
puts in the back
flying
of the net.
Scotsman.
Yeah, Superman.
Yeah, and then Ross Stewart loves the playoffs. These are the moments he loves to step up, Jurgen.
Yeah, we felt he's going to have a big role to play today, but just leading up to this, I feel Middlesbrough just lost a little bit of their composure. Some silly free kicks, silly fouls, just allowed Middlesbrough to come back, Southampton to come back into the game a little bit, and led to that opportunity there.
Yeah, it has been a brilliant first half here at St Mary's, and Middlesbrough got off to the perfect start. 5 minutes in, they took the lead, but Southampton equalising just before half-time. Second half next. Well, there were certainly sparks flying in that first half between Luke Ayling and Taylor Harwood-Bellis. Jonathan Oakes has an update for us on what was happening. Oakesy.
Yeah, there were words exchanged between Luke Ayling and Taylor Harwood-Bellis. Ayling says the words that Harwood-Bellis used towards him were of a discriminatory nature, and other players around heard the comment as well. It prompted the referee Andy Madley to speak to both managers. Madley says he will be reporting the incident.
Thank you very much, Oakesy. Let's get back to our commentary team then to take us through the second half. Dongerman and Gary Weaver.
Yes, thank you, Michelle. Middlesbrough back out for the second half here, including Luke Ayling, who is such a warm, bubbly character. Great experience, fabulous in that first leg at the Riverside on Saturday, and clearly enraged as to what was said towards him. As Southampton went to re-emerge for the second half here. Kim Hellberg in conversation with Ryan Manning. Saying that Harwood-Bellis, the captain of Southampton, about to lead them out for the second half here.
Well, if it's half as good as the first half, the neutrals, that's us, are in for a treat. It was brilliant.
Well, we wait to see what comes of that complaint, which Andy Madley says he will be reporting. So 1-1 at the break at St Mary's, 1-1 on aggregate. A pause for breath at half-time. It has been a fabulous game of football so far. Middlesbrough striking through Riley McGree before Ross Stewart levelled up just before the break. Where are we heading next?
We're about to find out.
No changes by either team at the break, so Leo Cienza, still not moving too freely, is back out there, and he's hobbling still.
I mean, the worst thing that he could have done was obviously stop for 15 minutes. I feel like he's tweaked a knee ligament based on what we saw of the collision. Difficult to deal with.
He's just had to try and readjust there as the ball came his way and went spinning out to play. As I mentioned in the first half, he is a real fighter, Leo Cienza, and he will not want to leave the scene here.
The thing is about the further damage that you're doing, that has to be a consideration as well. Bearing in mind, if you can win this game, win the final.
Once again, the home fans doing their bit here to stand shoulder to shoulder with their players as Strelets commits the foul.
Yeah, they are committing some not very subtle, silly fouls, Middlesbrough. And one of those led to the free kick that led to the goal, unfortunately for them.
Here's Stewart. Cienza waiting in the box, but it goes beyond him and beyond everybody.
I think sometimes decisions need to be taken out of a player's hand. He will stay on and he will hobble around. I think Tonda Eckhart needs to take it away from him.
In conversation there with Ben Garner, Tonda Eckhart. As you mentioned, they do have options. Thanks for Tom Fellows. Should he be required, albeit Cienza out of possession, is playing up and alongside Ross Stewart, and it's Matthews on the left. Ayling. Stewart. There's Kasper Yander. Strong and firm challenge, made sure that Tommy Conway didn't get to it. Harwood Bellis with it, and now the free kick has been given.
Well, he's complaining because he definitely gets some on the ball. Let's see here. Gets a bit of the ball, but gets a little bit of Tommy Conway. The referee decides that was the most important bit.
Well, Tom Fellows, as we mentioned, an option here for Southampton. Should they make a change? He of the step over and the cross, which no one seems to be able to stop. Tom Fellows. Britton with a free kick for Middlesbrough. There's Target. Dale Fry has stayed forward here. The decision goes the way of Southampton.
As I said, as the half drew to a close, they just lost a little bit of discipline. Look at the right of your screen there. Callum Britton gets just done by a little check from Cienza, concedes the free kick. Stewart, you can see, initially hauls Aidan Morris to the ground, and then he goes and he attacks it, and he gets the reward of an equalising goal. But that there, and he's thrown Aidan Morris to the ground, I think the referee spots that. He may not get the opportunity to score that equalising goal. It's all ifs, buts and maybes. Southampton don't care. Middlesbrough probably just rue that little bit of a lack of discipline just before half-time.
Well, he was part of the Southampton squad which did negotiate the playoffs last time around 2 years ago, negotiated it well as well, winning the second leg against West Bromwich Albion by 3-1 after a goalless first leg, and then beating Leeds in the final at Wembley thanks to a goal from Adam Armstrong, who, let's not forget, Southampton sold in January and he was their leading scorer. A player that has interested Middlesbrough in the past. The second half yet to find its rhythm as Middlesbrough get this free kick. Target stands over it for the visitors. Dale Fry looks to make an impact. There's McGree, the claiming handball. The referee emphatically says no.
See, referee pointing to his shoulder, indicate where he believes it struck the Southampton player. I'm not sure that was the shoulder. To be fair, the fact that his hand was away from his body, we'll see what he thinks. And again, it's not where it struck.
Play goes on. There's Bree. Another big talking point at St Mary's. Now Nathan Wood.
It's been slightly different from Middlesbrough, hasn't it, to the first leg in terms of the press. It hasn't been as intense.
That spins off the head of Britton. It's Ryan Manning, and Britton gets down to it. Southampton attacking their favoured northern end of St Mary's in the second half, where the away fans used to be, but they've since been moved away to our right at the other end of the ground now. which is where the Middlesbrough fans find themselves tonight, all 2,000 of them. The ticket allocation sold out within hours. Britain losing out to Kuriyu Matsuki. There's Cienza. He looks all right when he's running with the ball, Leo Cienza. More than all right. There's Shea Charles. Trying to step away from McGree. Harwood Bellis. Kasper Janda. Maybe meant for Manning, but Cienza gets to it anyway. Here is Ryan Manning, and Britain slams the door shut at a Southampton corner.
Yeah, look, I think every time Southampton get a set piece, if I were a Middlesbrough fan, I would be worried. They're a bigger team, more physical.
Well, they've made an impact from one set piece already, have the home team. And they're looking for another one here. Ayling trying to keep a watch on Nathan Wood. Flicked headed away by Fry. Looking to take charge for Middlesbrough.
You can just feel the momentum, can't you, building for the home team.
James Bree with eyes on this. He didn't want to leave Southampton in the summer, James Bree, but was sent out on loan to Charlton. As soon as he came back here, he was straight back into the team in January. Matsuki. Cienza. Manning is on the outside if he needs him. Sends that cross in. Once again, it's Dale Fry taking evasive action for Borough.
Yeah, look, Strelets, passenger. Middlesbrough need more from him.
Cienza again, he's got two for company this time in Whittaker and Britton. No push from Morgan Whittaker. Ayling. Manning. This is Charles. He's got the third best away record in the regular season in the Championship this campaign. Only Millwall and Coventry's was better. And they're striding forward here through target. And the referee blows his whistle, a foul by Azaz. And a yellow card for the former Middlesbrough man.
Seriously aggressive challenge. You can see the players, they're all pumped up. He flies into that and he may get the ball, but the referee doesn't like the intensity of it. Catches target on the follow-through.
Well, we seem to split opinion, Finn Azaz, during his time at Middlesbrough, but he always seems to come up with double figures for goals and assists, no matter who he's playing for, Finn Azaz. And right now, he's got the badge of Southampton on his chest. Target sends this free kick in, plenty of pace, and Strats was in there.
Terrific delivery.
Problem here for Matsuki.
Quality. Speak about Southampton's left back. Middlesbrough have one of their own. That is wonderful delivery. It's well defended.
Kuriyu Matsuki back on his feet. And Callum Britton in command of this throw for Middlesbrough. Moved on by Ayling, but out of play by Luke Ayling.
just playing in little bursts, aren't they, at the moment, Middlesbrough? I just wonder how long it'll be before we see Alan Brown. This is a team used to controlling games, aren't they? Home and away. Control just wrestled away from them a little bit here.
Alan Brown looking like his arrival could be imminent. There's Shea Charles getting the better of Whittaker. Dale Price steps in again for Middlesbrough. The volume rises again inside St Mary's on this playoff night. Wood moves forward. His centre-back partner, Taylor Harwood-Bellis, is there. Ayling keeping a watch on Harwood-Bellis. As Leo Cienza take this corner kick, and Solbrin doesn't come for it. There's an acrobatic attempt which is seen off. Manning waiting again here. And then Matsky has a swing. Manning! And that could have gone anywhere.
Yeah, they're under the cosh here. Middlesbrough have to bite down hard on their gum shield. Ball bobbling all over the penalty area. And that one, oh. Sometimes you need Lady Luck to smile on you. And certainly Luke Ayling had it then.
Another Southampton corner kick. Ryan Manning back on his feet. Southampton looking to cash in with this spell of pressure here. Malanda tries to deal with it. Another Southampton corner in front of the northern end.
It's a panicked clearance, isn't it? Almost runs past it. Malanda.
Southampton's fourth corner this half as we approach the hour mark at St Mary's. Nathan Wood makes his move now. It's gone beyond him. It's Shea Charles. And now Strelets looking for something on the counter-attack here for Borough. Whittaker. And it's Zaz who will pick up for Southampton.
I think Kim Hellberg will want his team just to try and get a hold of the ball, even if it's just for a couple of minutes. Try and wrestle back a little bit of control, or certainly try and take away this momentum that Southampton have got going in the second half. See, pretty much being played in the areas that Middlesbrough wouldn't want it to be.
Southampton, this big game experience this season, beating Arsenal in the FA Cup, Fulham in the FA Cup. Less than 10 minutes away from the FA Cup final when they led against Manchester City at Wembley. And they're looking to try and get back to Wembley. Zaz with that ball forward, but too much on it in the end. As Bree was unable to do anything with it.
Yeah, look, I'd be really surprised if Kim Hellberg doesn't make a change or two very, very soon. I don't think they'll be able to withstand this pressure, this momentum that Southampton have got going.
He had been on Middlesbrough's radar for quite some time, but he was not called by Borough until Rob Edwards left Middlesbrough for Wolves. And Middlesbrough were grateful for Rob Edwards tightening up Middlesbrough defensively, but Kim Hellberg has added the attacking intent to this team. To Middlesbrough's attention for the way he improved Hammarby under. They were doing well under Martí Cifuentes. He improved them even more. Kim Hellberg, he interested a few clubs, including Swansea. That's where he was off to until Middlesbrough sent a car in his direction. McGree gives chase to this. The car was to pick him up, by the way. He didn't get to keep the car. Just to be clear. There's Malanda. Target. Tommy Conway. Again looking to threaten from that left-sided position. Malanda's in space here. Pocket of space. No way through. Luke Ayling. Middlesbrough digging their heels in. Target. Now Strelets. He's had very little to go at so far. Morris. McGree. Morris again. Britton steps back. And here he is, Callum Britton, to deliver the cross. Tommy Conway. He enjoys this position of moving in from the left. Followed by Finazaz. Dale Fry with eyes on it, and Dale Fry in danger here, and Stewart has picked up. Now Cienza. Leo Cienza goes down. No penalty.
Oh. Big call. It's not the first. It may not be the last.
Another big call on a night of big calls. And now Middlesbrough get the free kick. And this place is furious.
Well, Cienza trotting across to Andy Madley, and Dale Fry will breathe a huge sigh of relief. Not decisive with it, but that there. Oh, is there enough? Luke Ayling, watch this, leans into him. Is that enough? No, I don't think so. Goes down really easily. Referee's got a brilliant view. And that little shove there. Well, another one that could go either way, really, truth be told.
Furious, frustrated Tonda Ecker, but Andy Madley adamant it's the right decision. On to the next one. Middlesbrough with this free kick. Seen more than a few delicious deliveries tonight in this contest, mainly from both left backs. Target with it. Dale Fry got free. It's Dale Fry again.
Wow. Another wonderful delivery. I mean, look, he's free as a bird. It's Riley McGree pins the Southampton defender in. That leaves Dale Fry all alone. Really should be doing better. Consolation of a corner. Certainly goes down as a half a chance.
In comes that corner. Once again, Howard Bellis doing the defending. Not once, but twice for Southampton.
Well, ebbing and flowing, isn't it? What a positive little spell for Middlesbrough now.
It's the end of the game for Kuryu Matsuki, who did go down injured a few moments ago. And on comes Flynn Downs to add his big game experience to this game. Downs on, Matsuki off. Target. Cienza. There's Aidan Morris. Saul Bryn goes long.
Just put himself about, doesn't he, Ross Stewart? He was the one that forced Dale Fry into a little mistake. He's had a good night.
Scored in a playoff final for Sunderland at Wembley, Ross Stewart. Looking now to try and take Southampton to the greatest temple in football. Cienza. Manning, as ever, is on the outside. Lynn Downs, he's lost out. Riley McGree. There's Whittaker.
1v1, he's got to drive and cut inside.
Into his potent left foot. Whittaker does just that. And it does deflect behind as Shea Charles was trying to do the defending.
See, this is what Morgan Whittaker must dream, but I think he needs to be more aggressive in the way that he attacks Shea Charles. Do it quicker, do everything quicker and give yourself a better chance. Once he slows down a little bit, just here, look, here. I think that's where the opportunity to hit the target is lost. Just allows Southampton to get bodies back. Nathan Wood, in the end, gets the deflection.
Whittaker across to take this corner. Another outswinger. Malanda tries to make an impact. Morris. Whittaker again, a player that Lazio wanted to sign a couple of years ago. But he didn't fancy it, and Plymouth Argyle wanted more money in any case.
Oh, he's just hurt himself again, Leo Cienzo.
The referee has played the advantage as Whittaker picks up the baton again. Cienzo again getting to his feet. He is giving everything to try and stay in this game, Leo Cienzo. Heidenheim-Boss didn't want to sell him in the summer, but that decision was taken out of his hands as Southampton stepped in to bring Leo Cienzo to the south coast. Peretz gets to that.
Wow, pulsating, enthralling, just a brilliant, brilliant game of football.
Just describes a night out with you, Don. Into the final quarter of normal time of this game. Kasper Janda, who counts Tony Kroos as one of his fans. Britton.
Oh, look at Tommy Conway, he's just had a little bit of a limp as well. He's looking towards the bench at the minute.
There's Azaz with that heavily strapped leg of his. Stewart. It's done well, Ross Stewart. Downs. Janda. It's Finn Azaz. And Malanda stands his ground.
Tommy Conway has gone down. He's been told by the bench. You can see the way he was moving. He's hurt. This night could be over.
Shirt over the face, and that says it all. Devastating for Tommy Conway. If that is the end of his night, and who knows what else. And while we have this break in play, both sets of players head off to their respective head coaches. Alan Brown ready to come on for Middlesbrough.
Huge, isn't it? Huge, 20, 25 minutes. Prize enormous.
Both goals scored in the first half. Riley McGree for Borough. Ross Stewart levelling up as Southampton. There's that change. Conway cannot continue. And Alan Brown, who's been asked to play in so many positions by Kim Hellberg this season, comes on. He's had his own Playoff heartbreak this season, Alan Brown with Republic of Ireland. But in the EFL playoffs, it could be a bit of a lucky omen, Alan Brown. But both teams, both sets of players have given absolutely everything here.
Absolutely. I think both sets of fans will be enormously proud of their team's efforts. It's just unfortunate. One of the sets of fans is going to be left really heartbroken. And that's just what the playoffs is.
Well, the bus welcomes for both of these two teams. For Middlesbrough at the Riverside, for Southampton here tonight, incredible. Middlesbrough fans gathered at Teesside Airport yesterday too to wave off their heroes with the message, "Make us dream." Middlesbrough's last promotion a decade ago. They went up in second place, secured against Brighton and Hove Albion. And Hackney was a ball boy that day and ran on the pitch to celebrate with his heroes. And Hackney having to watch on here tonight because of that ongoing calf issue. They've had 3 different specialists look at it and 3 different prognosis. I'm hoping if Middlesbrough make it to the final, he will make it himself onto the Wembley turf. But right now, everything is in the balance. Stewart takes the hit, and gets the free kick. Now Aidan Morris has tumbled over. PGA Championship Day 1, you can see on Sky Sports Golf Thursday at 12:30. And then the big one, the richest game in football, the Championship Playoff Final, Saturday, May the 23rd. Sky Sports Football, Hull City are waiting for the winners of this. Harwood Bellis. If only McBenney did celebrate last night. Promised to.
I think you know the answer to that.
Cienza. Deflects behind off Britton.
I've got to be honest, I cannot believe Leo Cienza is still out there. It's remarkable.
We've got cramp just watching him. He's been hobbling since towards the end of the first half, Leo Cienza. Into the final 15 minutes. Key moments in this playoff fight. Solbrin coming for it, trying to command his box.
Yeah, difficult for goalkeepers, really is. It's a Southampton head that gets on the end of it. Like I said, probably about 15-20 minutes ago now, every time a set piece goes in there, worry for Middlesbrough. I mean, the goalkeeper is absolutely nowhere near getting that.
Wood in combat with Strelets. There's Morris. Whittaker. Harwood Bellis covering the ground again for Southampton. Now Finazaz. He's opened up the pitch a bit here.
I'll tell you what, that was a tired challenge, wasn't it, from Matt Targett over there. I do feel, you wonder whether it will be the benches that make the difference in this playoff tie. Southampton feel way more.
Yanda. There's Nathan Wood. Manning. Here's Downs. Manning screaming for the ball on this side of the pitch. He was the target. Harwood Bellis unable to find him. That's Morris. Whittaker. He's moved out to the left for Middlesbrough. Malanda with that challenge.
He's a brilliant player, but he does take risks.
Booking for the Borough centre-back.
Yeah, gets done there. Comes through the back of Finn Azaz. Again, can't argue.
Well, they believe he has Premier League quality. Dean Smith was his manager at Charlotte, from where Malanda arrived in the winter window. Actually signed before that, but Charlotte wanted to keep hold of him until then. And he's looking to get to the Premier League with Middlesbrough. Adilson Malanda. They've got work to do. Once again, Stewart trying to cause all sorts of problems.
Yeah, look, it's not lost on me that every time the ball is delivered, it is a Southampton head, generally, getting on the end of it, and you just wonder, can they make one of these tell? Because they've got a clear advantage in aggression, in height.
Harwood Bellis. Target. There's Riley McGree. Aidan Morris yet to score for Middlesbrough. McGree. Ayling picks up the baton for the visitors. Middlesbrough last promoted through the playoffs back in 1988, and that was when the playoffs were even more brutal. It involved Chelsea. Middlesbrough beat them over a two-legged final, and Chelsea were relegated from the top tier. Middlesbrough took their place. Bernie Slavin and Trevor Senior, the goal scorers for Middlesbrough, as they won 2-1 on aggregate. Now, another bit of a flashpoint here as Aidan Morris tries to get the ball back.
Tensions. He's asking for the ball boy not giving him. I mean, he's got no right. I mean, that is ridiculous. He wants that ball. And then Aidan Morris gets involved. I mean, it's just so unnecessary. Absolutely unnecessary.
Is it me, or are the ball boys getting taller?
Yeah, they're getting bigger. He should be removed, that young man. Sorry. There's a theme, isn't there, of unsporting behaviour.
Southampton free kick. Well, just to bring you up to date with Spygate, as it's being called, Southampton have asked for more time to conduct an internal review before they meet with the Independent Disciplinary Commission to answer charges of spying on Middlesbrough before the first leg. If found guilty, they could be fined, they could have future points deducted, they could even be kicked out of the playoffs. All options are on the table. Depending on what happens here, this may not be over tonight. We'll wait to see. Leo Castledine, who had such a sparkling first half of the season on loan from Chelsea and Huddersfield, scored 12 goals, and Middlesbrough decided to sign him from Chelsea. He's coming on, and David Strelec is withdrawn. Tough night for Strelec, leading the Middlesbrough line.
It's been tough. Don't play in playoff semi-finals and it's anything other than tough.
Goodman, sympathetic as ever. So, a double change imminent from Southampton here. Kyle Larin did start the first leg at the Riverside, but found it tough against Dale Fry. He's about to come on, and Sam Adozu had that wonderful chance for Southampton late on. He's also about to come on. Miranda kicking a balloon. There's Aidan Morris. We're hearing that Leo Cienza will be one of those making way shortly, which we thought may happen around about an hour ago because the injury he suffered. But he has fought and fought. And Ross Stewart, who levelled up just before the break, is also being withdrawn. And on come Kyle Larin and Sam Adozu.
Well, that's the demonstration of that depth that I was talking about. That could make all the difference for Southampton here. We will see.
Kyle Larin, such an important signing back at the end of the January window for Southampton, as Tonda Eckert wanted more experience. He was brought in, as was Daniel Peretz. He didn't get too much out of Dale Fry in the first leg on Teesside. He has, though, scored 6 goals in his last 9 games, Kyle Larin. Southampton free kick in a position of promise here. Azaz left grounded.
And again, I keep saying it, you just wonder whether they're going to pay a price here. Again, you just wonder if fatigue is playing a part in a clumsy challenge like that.
Well, Middlesbrough haven't had a shot on target since the 32nd minute, and here they are facing a Southampton set piece as we head towards the final 4 minutes of normal time. Nothing to separate these two. This is what the playoffs do. And again makes his move now, and it spins behind off a Borough head. Miranda taking evasive action.
Well, you have to say the delivery tonight has been exceptional. Defences have found it so difficult. Goalkeepers so difficult.
Middlesbrough nerves at one end. Southampton hope around the rest of this stadium. Bree with the corner, which asked a question again, and Target was doing the defending that time for Middlesbrough. Extra time is beckoning. Wood. There's Bree. Finazaz looking to try and floor his former club. Yanda. Harwood Bellis. There's Manning. Shea Charles. Ayling stepping across to try and get there ahead of Edozie. Another who was out in the cold, Sam Edozie.
Been a very different game, hasn't it, to the one at the Riverside. We do feel Southampton way more in control than Middlesbrough.
Famous yellow and blue of Southampton's famous FA Cup triumph. To get back to Wembley again, a second visit this season, but Middlesbrough looking to take that from them. Alan Brown, Malanda, Fry, there's Kyle Larin, Flynn Downs hunted down by Aidan Morris. That's what he does.
Does it better than most, doesn't he? Standing. I'm not sure how he's still going. He covers so much ground. Aidan Morris. Remind yourself, it was such a monumental physical and emotional effort just a few days ago to pick themselves up and go again. It's really impressive and to be applauded.
Well, they were top two for over 200 days, Middlesbrough. And again, you look back to that hugely important night and defeat against Coventry City back in February. Top six was always the aim at the start of the campaign for Middlesbrough. But the position they were in, it could have been so much better. In the end, it was costly misses, which cost them.
Yeah, look, it was a run of results against teams that finished in the bottom seven, for likes of losing to Charlton and Portsmouth, drawing to Oxford and Blackburn. That's what really cost them in the final sort of 10 games of the season, but they can't afford to dwell on that.
They just couldn't take their chances as the season came to a close, Middlesbrough. And for Southampton, a different story with their approach to the playoffs, coming through the crowd, as we mentioned earlier, 18 points behind Middlesbrough in February. We've ended on 80 points. We're into 5 additional minutes at the end of the 90 here. Gian the driving forward, Edozie to his left, Larin to his right. It's Kyle Larin, and Bryn with a big save for Borough.
Again, Luke Ayling took a risk in the middle of the pitch, got robbed, said a prayer, prayers were answered.
A Teessider stepping up for Borough in that Middlesbrough goal. One swing of a boot, one movement of a head wins this now.
Well, you just said it, didn't you? Was it 39th minute or something like that when Middlesbrough's last shot? They haven't really looked close for what seems like an age. They're not enjoying any territory, really. Daniel Peretz in the Southampton goal. He's almost a passenger now.
Dale Fry makes that challenge, and the referee says no penalty.
How often do you see it? How often do you see it? Defender goes to have a swing, to clear a ball. Striker nips in from the blind side. How much contact is that? It's the only thing. Oh. Is Larin looking for this? He knows what he's doing, the striker. Gets the ball, but I'm not sure how much Dale Fry gets Kyle Larin. I can't actually see anything. I think the referee stuck to his convictions. It doesn't look like there's much contact, if any, at all. Assistant referee very close. There's been a few penalty shouts tonight.
Well, this a big moment for Bryn in the Borough goal.
Yeah, look, Luke Ayling there gets robbed, and then Larin's movement is excellent. pulls onto the shoulder of Dale Fry, takes it first time, gets plenty of power. Middlesbrough relieved, it's more or less straight at Sol Bryn, who deals with it.
Well, these two in close proximity again, Luke Ayling and Taylor Harwood-Bellis. There was that incident between the two at the break.
He's forgiven him.
In the meantime, Dale Fry continues to receive treatment here. It looks like we are heading towards extra time to decide a winner between Southampton and Middlesbrough. Both have gone after each other here.
Well, I have to say, there already look several very, very tired players out there.
Dale Fry will have to leave the pitch here, having received treatment. Yeah. It's been the story of this playoff tie and the intrigue and everything that's gone on, and still not resolved yet. It will be resolved in the corridors of power as far as that is concerned tonight. Both just wanted to focus on matters on the pitch. And it has been some contest between these two on this pitch here. Middlesbrough down to 10 for now. Fry waiting to come back on as Castledine looks to give chase to that. Shea Charles. Britton steps in and commits the foul.
Oh, looks harsh. Saying played the ball, it looked like he did. In front of us. Bouncing ball. Yeah. He did play the ball.
We have had the 5 additional minutes, a little bit extra to be added after the treatment received by Dale Fry. Who is back on now for Borough. Extra time imminent, unless Manning with that ball in. Charles. Adozie was down to the touch. He may have injured himself in the process. Middlesbrough looking for something on the counter-attack. Aidan Morris. There's Whittaker. Whittaker steps into trouble in the form of Yanda. Malanda. Dale Fry, who won promotion with Middlesbrough a decade ago. There's Shea Charles. Adozie. No way past Malanda. Now it's Whittaker. Manning steps in. The referee checks his watch again. Harwood-Bellis. Kyle Larron in a scrap with Dale Fry. Scrap with Dale Fry one time after time on Saturday. Well, Larron has given him already something more to think about.
Yeah, he definitely has, isn't he? He's making good runs. Kyle Larron.
The referee wants to throw in retaken. This is tense, this is drama. Sporting drama at its best. Manning. Malanda covering the ground again. They're trying to keep Charles at arm's length. Still we go on. But that now is it. These two have given absolutely everything. And we will go to extra time. Riley McGree striking for Middlesbrough. Ross Stewart levelling up as Southampton. Both goals coming before the break. They have both gone after each other, and it will continue into extra time, which comes next.
Here's a smooth sub. Jameson spots the EFL on Sky.
Your home is full of life. When odours linger, your nose knows they steal the joy. Airwick 24/7 Active Fresh Auto Spray, made with 95% naturally derived ingredients and without aerosol. So your home smells as fresh as it feels. Now that's a breath of fresh Airwick.
Life is what you paint it. Dulux.
All right, Paul. Loving the Saxony piles.
I like a bank that knows my business inside and out. They're good, yeah.
Alica Bank. Like your business bank again.
Look up, Britain. The rooftop revolution is here. And Utilita is helping homes and businesses save with solar all year round. Reduce your energy bills and carbon footprint, and with striking, no upfront cost options. Going solar may be easier than you think. For your 2 up, 2 down, your business in town, or something a little larger, Utilita, solar from the energy saving experts.
The 80s are back with the free Coral Rewards Grabber. Play, grab and win up to £500 cash. Coral, we're here for it. In the bag.
Hello, mate. Weeds, they really are relentless little blighters. They'll keep coming back unless you act fast. Resolver Extra Fast gives you quick, visible results, working on contact to get rid of weeds in no time at all. Resolver your weed problem with Resolver Extra Fast.
Jameson spots the EFL on Sky Sports.
You could cut the tension here at St Mary's with a knife as we go to extra time in this playoff semi-final second leg. Joby, what's the message here? Because is there nerves? You don't want to make a mistake, but you also want to be the match winner?
Yeah, I think we'll see the nerves as the 30 minutes kind of rolls on. I think as you come out of it, it's about who's going to be a match winner. That man there, Kyle Laren's been a good presence since he's come on. If you're Middlesbrough, you're saying, where are those goals coming from? Maybe a moment of brilliance. Morgan Whittaker's got to get himself on the ball. So much to play for.
Borough struggled a little bit since Tommy Conway's come off. Going forward, haven't they, Curtis?
Yeah, they have. No, Tommy Conway, Strelic is off the pitch as well. So, yeah, what Joby said about match winners, they're not really out there. They're out on their feet as well. We've seen Aidan Morris has been brilliant today, cramping up. So it's going to be a long 30 minutes for them. You can see them digging down, not playing like they used to, and then trying to get to penalties, if that's my opinion.
Tensions at time have almost boiled over on the pitch and on the sideline, Joby. What are we expecting from this final 30 minutes?
Well, hopefully more of the same from a neutral's perspective. It's been a brilliant spectacle. Both sets of players giving absolutely everything. So strap in and let's enjoy.
OK, here we go again. Let's get back to Don Goodman and Gary Weaver.
Yes, thank you, Michelle. Extra time at St Mary's. Sunderland against Coventry went to extra time a year ago, and Dan Ballard stepped up with that header to send Sunderland to Wembley and ultimately to the Premier League. As Sunderland won the playoff final, Alan Brown was part of that Sunderland matchday squad. He on the pitch now for Middlesbrough. Is it me or are we missing a football?
That would help. What if the ball boys kept it?
Now. Hey, he might have. Good spot on. Right.
Shall we play?
Yes. It cuts the tension, doesn't it?
Well, there's only going to be more. Just wonder where Middlesbrough can muster the necessary energy from physically. Southampton looks stronger to me.
That's Flynn Downs. Southampton now defending the northern end in the first period of extra time here at St Mary's. At the end where Middlesbrough struck early on in the 5th minute, Riley McGree putting them in front a long time ago. Britton with a throw. Lauren getting involved for Southampton defensively. Adozie sticks out a boot. There's Aidan Morris. Forward by Matt Targett. There's Kyle Lauren. Adozie breezing up the pitch for Southampton. Takes the hit, gets the free kick. And a yellow card for Callum Britton.
He just seems to be under pressure, doesn't he, tonight, Callum Britton? It's not Cienza, it's Adozie. I mean, again, I'm with him. I don't really see much wrong with that challenge.
Ryan Manning delivers that, and Solbrin checked it off his line, gets to it. And the quick release from the Borough keeper. Perrott has come a long way. Perfect pass. Never in doubt.
Wow. That could have gone horribly wrong.
Adozie. Smashed away by Dale Fry. At the start of the season, and there's notes on his phone, wrote down, aim for the season, win promotion.
Look, they just haven't got an out ball, really, Middlesbrough, and it's Southampton asking all the questions since that Middlesbrough shot in the 68th minute. They haven't really posed any kind of a threat to the Saints.
Forced into that change with the injury to Tommy Conway. Strelett has since gone off and Castledine coming on. There's McGree. Castledine was waiting, as is Matt Targett. Morris. Castledine waits inside the box. It doesn't reach him.
Outstanding
defending from Harwood Bellis.
Yeah, outstanding. Very important.
He's a really good finisher, is Leo Castledine, as we saw with Huddersfield earlier this season. Ayling. Britton. Harwood Bellis taking care of business again for Southampton. Yanda. Azaz trying to move that ball on swiftly for Lauren.
Nice idea.
There's Aidan Morris. It wasn't just relegation for Southampton last season. It was humiliation. Bundled out of the back door of the Premier League with just 12 points. It took them quite some time to recover, as we saw with Ipswich Town too in the rebuild that Ipswich had to do, which ultimately led to success for them, finishing second. Southampton, if they are to return, hoping to return stronger.
Again, there's no real forward pass for Middlesbrough when they have the ball in these areas.
Ayling pinging that ball out superbly to target. I did see him do that on more than a few occasions in the first leg at the Riverside on Saturday, Luke Ayling.
Let's talk about Middlesbrough players physically feeling it, but Southampton players must be feeling it too. Put so much in.
Ayling involved again. There's Harwood-Bellis. There's target. Castledine. Whittaker's in the middle. McGree ahead of him. Castledine hits the deck. The referee tells him to get back up. Target. And we'll get to it for Middlesbrough. Sigh of relief for Matt Target.
Good composure from Sol Bryn as well.
The home fans turn up the volume again inside St Mary's. Southampton unbeaten in their last 12 home games since Hull beat them here. Hull did the double over Southampton in the regular season. It's Hull City who are waiting for the winners of this. They also beat Middlesbrough as well. Borough won the other game. There's Downs. Loose from Wood. And there's Riley McGree for Middlesbrough, but he loses out to Casper Yander. Now it's Manning.
Tired efforts to try and make something happen. Energy, intensity, just, you can feel it just dropping out of the game. Look, who's going to go and have that moment? Can anybody deliver it?
The fresher legs here of Kyle Larrin being pursued by Dale Fry. Fry sticks to his guns. It has gone behind for a corner.
He's been positive, hasn't he? Kyle Larrin, it's a really good run and it's an offer, and that's what I was saying earlier, that when Middlesbrough have the ball, you kind of don't see that movement in the forward areas, that forward pass.
He did spend the first half of the season on loan at Feyenoord. 1 goal in 15 games for Kyle Larrin. He's made a huge impact since he arrived here in the winter window. On loan from Real Mallorca. And being watched by Alan Brown. There are a few things happening. You won't be surprised to hear.
Alan Brown not looking at the ball, looking at the man, got to be careful.
Brown has lost Brown for now. Manning arrows that delivery in. Wood made the initial contact. It's gone behind for another Southampton corner.
It's a flatter delivery this time. And Wood gets across that near post.
He waits again. There's the former Middlesbrough man. Corner arrowed in again, and it's dropped here to Manning. He fancied on his right. Adozie did! Prim reacts!
Harwood Bellis misses his kick in front of goal. Holds his head.
The home fans encouraged. Peretz. Melanda steps in for Borough.
Yeah, you do feel, don't you? Anybody's going to score in extra time. It feels like it'll be Southampton. It comes through bodies again, takes a deflection, and then Harwood Bellis just can't adjust his body. And there's more than him with his head in his hands.
Middlesbrough have not had a shot since the 68th minute. They are up against it here in the first period of extra time. Kyle Larritt. He looks fired up for this tonight. As we mentioned, he didn't really show the best side of himself in that first game. Dale Fry was superb in marshalling him in that first leg. There's Kasper Janda. Finn Azaz. Now Bree. Azaz. Janda. Been in the academies of Borussia Dortmund and Schalke. I mentioned earlier, Tony Kroos, a big fan of Kasper Janda. He was playing in the third tier in Germany not too long ago. Burst the pace from Adozie. Manning tries to get to it. There's Downs. Well, a few seem to stop there. Castledine as Middlesbrough look for a way out. But Southampton quickly win it back. Adozie. Southampton looking as stronger right now. It's Finn Azaz. Holds his head as he was unable to really get the shot away. Janda. Downs with the cross. Dale Fry with the clearance.
Well, they've got to hang on till half-time in extra time here, Middlesbrough. 3 or 4 minutes. Bite down on the gum shield here.
Southampton with the momentum. Southampton posing the questions. For one tonight, this will be journey's end this season. Unless something else happens. There's Melanda. Whittaker.
Just can't keep the ball, Middlesbrough, when they get it, giving it away cheaply.
Morris has managed to small that ball through to Whittaker, but again, Southampton quickly win it back. No foul there, despite Tonda Eckert's protest, albeit Southampton do now get the free kick. A late night, a tense night. And the big prize is still there for both of them. Ayling with eyes on it and gets his head on it. But here's Flynn Downs. Azaz. Looking to silence the jeers of the travelling Middlesbrough supporters here. Manning, Wood is forward here. They've got it all wrong in the end.
Again, Ryan Manning all night, his delivery has been fantastic. Matched by the header. Seven assists for Ryan Manning this season, as well as his 8 goals. Not for the faint-hearted, are they, these playoffs? They are a thing of beauty as long as you are not right in the thick of them, right in the middle of them, and we are right in the middle of extra time here. That's the end of the first period. It still remains Southampton 1, Middlesbrough 1.
Thank you, Gary. Curtis and Joby still alongside me. Oh, you could cut the tension still with a knife, Curtis. Who had the better of it, in your opinion, in that first period of extra time?
Well, I think both will just be happy to, again, at this stage of the game, it's about, yes, you want to go and take the game to them and go and win it. I think there were a few scary moments, you know, when we saw, obviously, the keeper coming running out to the halfway line and clearing the ball, you know, which you don't need to do at this stage of the game. And that's what it's going to be. These fans are on edge, the players are on edge, and you're just waiting for almost a mistake to open the game up rather than a moment of quality at this stage, because all these legs are so tired.
Middlesbrough haven't had a shot of any kind, Joby, since the 68th minute. You said to me a few times they looked so tired. Do you think they're hanging on for pens now, or is there still a moment in it?
No, they're digging in and hoping for a moment. You know, I don't think it's going to be anything to do with them being able to build and get up the pitch. Maybe they can nick a set piece. They've got players who can score free kicks, so they've just got to hang in there. You can see the body language. Riley McGree, Aidan Morris, who's been sensational, getting around the group, just saying, just keep digging in. Southampton have to be patient. They're going to obviously dominate the ball, and then it's just trying to find that moment to try and open the door.
OK, with news of a change then, let's get back to Don and Gary.
Yes, thank you, Michelle. We're still here. Jeremy Sarmiento is coming on here for Middlesbrough, and Riley McGree, who scored Borough's goal in the 5th minute, he is withdrawn. So Jeremy Sarmiento, who's becoming a bit of a serial promotion winner. He's done it with Ipswich, he's done it with Burnley, now on loan at Middlesbrough. He is on, spent the first half of the season on loan at Cremonense alongside Jamie Vardy, but didn't get too much game time. So one come, Southampton, ready for this second period of extra time. Still, it remains 1-1 between these two. And Southampton gets the second period of extra time underway. 15 minutes to find a winner, or it will go to penalties.
Well, it has to be no-risk football. It's one of those now, isn't it? If you can't win it, do not lose it. Shea Charles, isn't it, gets caught. Castledine leading with the arm. But you can, at this stage, you can see it being a mistake or a set piece that changes the destiny of one of these clubs. Both of them, for that matter.
Middlesbrough, the best part of a decade away from the Premier League for Southampton, and looking to return immediately. The first time was always the best time to try and get back. There's Yanda. Manning. Adozie checking away from Britain. Oh, he passed Alan Brown, who steps in and wins it back for Middlesbrough. Whittaker. Hunted down by Kasper Yanda.
Did well initially, but no support. Didn't have a pass. Tried to hold on to it. Couldn't do it.
Southampton with a player down on this near side. So Dozier's down and holding his shoulder.
When he got tackled, I think it was Alan Brown that slid in. I think he's fallen awkwardly and looks like he's landed on that shoulder. It's a brilliant piece of defending. Alan Brown there. And it's that fall there. Horrible and painful.
Well, he played a big part in Germany winning the World Cup in 2014. It's under Eckert. He was part of the analysis team with the German World Cup squad.
He's just trying to work out his age, huh? 2014.
2014. Young, though.
Pretty young.
It's too late for me to do any maths. Well, that's his background. I did try and make it as a player. He was up against Antonio Rudiger for a right winger position at a club in Germany. Someone's worked it out for us, 21 years.
Good job we've got all that help, isn't it?
Well, once again, the home fans standing side by side with the players who play for them, who play for this city, who play for their badge.
Done their part, haven't they, the fans tonight? They really have. Trying everything in their power to get their boys over the line.
So Sam Edozie back on his feet, still feeling the effects of that shoulder injury, but ready to come back on here. Southampton did lose a playoff semi-final penalty shootout back in 2007 at Derby County. It's the third time they've been involved in the playoffs. They had that heartbreak and then they had the victory and promotion at Wembley 2 years ago. And they're looking for a winner in extra time here as Sam Edozie is back on the pitch.
As a fan, you can relax when the ball is in your attacking part of the pitch.
A packed St Mary's. Southampton looking for a hero here. Larin. That's Edozie having a swing. Sarmiento. Ayling takes a tumble. And Manning is on the move here for Southampton. Was he caught? The referee says no. There's Brown for Middlesbrough. Looking for a way out. Castledine. Fresh legs of Sarmiento making him move ahead of him, opening up the space for him, but Whittaker unable to play it back to Castledine.
It's poor. It's poor. It's about the first promising situation Middlesbrough have had for quite some considerable time, and it was wasted.
They've just not been able to get themselves up the pitch.
No.
Sarmiento will try and help. Ayling. Castledine fired in towards Brown. There's Luke Ayling. Larin commits the foul. And cramp for Luke Ayling. And who can blame him?
Oh, no. Can certainly forgive him that. Dale Fry gingerly making his way forward. Malanda. They're tired and they're weary. Can Middlesbrough find a way just to upset Southampton? Not particularly been prevalent from set pieces.
Well, some can't watch. This city on the south and a town on the Tees holding their breath right now. As Peretz holds on to that. Harwood Bellis finds Finazaz. He can be capable of a bit of magic. Downs. Downs again. Azaz looking to probe from deep. There's a Dozy. Now Wood. Kasper Yanda. Downs. Southampton tiptoeing forward here, looking to open up Middlesbrough. It's Finazaz who crept forward. And Bryn gets to it. We are edging closer and closer to penalties. Downs. Larin. There's Yanda. Manning steps forward. Adozi. Faced by Britton, sends that ball in low. Here is Callum Britton. Now Castledine trying to get Middlesbrough up the pitch. Britton bursting forward ahead of him. Whittaker's to his left and he held on too long and Flynn Downs punished it.
Oh, that is outstanding because that was danger for Southampton.
And now Middlesbrough players caught up the pitch, but he managed to get back now as Manning digs out that cross. And for once it's not quite on the money from him. But this is Kyle Larin. Two sets of tired players who've given absolutely everything here to try and make it through to the game, the Championship playoff final. Yanda. Adozi. He's made room for the cross. Dealt with by Dale Fry. Manning again. There's Yanda. Manning once more, players tumbling just inside the box. Yanda's gone down with cramp. Adozi. He's still down with cramp. Manning will have to swerve him as he sends that cross in. And Yanda still down here for Southampton.
Literally cannot get the ball, can't get out. Middlesbrough penned in, hanging on for dear life here.
It's a Dozy. There's a slip. Kyle Larin taken from him. Ayling with the slip initially, but rescued the situation. And now he's got cramp.
Oh my gosh.
Southampton rumble forward again. Oh, it's gone in! To possibly take Southampton to the greatest stadium of them all and to take them to the richest game of them all.
Well, Dan Ballard, I give you Shea Charles, and this, make no mistake, this is a cross. But they don't care. I mean, look, Ayling goes down there with a bit of cramp. It's just fatigue. Look at the Borough players. They're helpless. They're physically cannot do what they need to do. Dale Fry can't stretch, can't clear the ball. This is a brilliant angle. This is a cross. Dale Fry can't make it because he's shattered, and it finds its way in off the post. Southampton don't care. It's glory for them. It's cruel for Middlesbrough. Is that the moment?
The playoffs in a nutshell. Brutal, brilliant, magical, miserable. An eruption of joy for most of this stadium. Misery in the corner away to our right. What do Middlesbrough have left?
Heartbreaking for everybody connected with Middlesbrough. Southampton making changes. Middlesbrough will literally have, what, 5 minutes to try and throw the kitchen sink at Southampton.
Southampton making a double change here. Cam Bragg on, Wellington on. Kim Hellberg can only stare, watch and wonder.
You kind of felt, didn't you? You kind of felt it was going to be a set piece, a mistake. It was fatigue.
Yander and Adozi, the two withdrawn by Southampton. Sontje Hansen has come on for Middlesbrough. Luke Ayling making way. We're hearing we'll have 5 additional minutes. Southampton, Wembley bound, as it stands right now. Sontje Hansen, Middlesbrough's season is down to this. Whittaker letting fly. Confirmation of the 5 additional minutes.
Yeah, Dale Fry's up front. They've just got to get the ball into the penalty area. They've got to get it wide and get crosses in. Simple, occasionally effective.
Here come Middlesbrough. Whittaker having to try and readjust. It's Alan Brown. Bodies on the line, time for Southampton.
Oh yeah, Callum Britton outside him, free, waiting for the pass, waiting for a better shooting opportunity. Turned it down, Alan Brown. He arrives here. Look, watch this. Look, a little slot to the right. Callum Britton, free as a bird and fuming. Those are the moments.
Can Middlesbrough save this and save their season? Callum Britton with that free kick. Target. Brown looking to close in, beaten to it. It's Britton. It would have been spectacular.
Yeah, look, it's desperate. That's what it is. You could try that shot on the volley from there, what, 1,000,000 times. You might score once. But it's desperation. Clouds your judgment, clouds your decision-making. Penny for his thoughts.
A city singing.
Goalkeeper's got to get a yellow card. He's just took about 2 minutes. Ridiculous. Worth it though.
It is a yellow card for Daniel Perez. Whittaker, Sarmiento, Middlesbrough have got to give absolutely everything, whatever they have left now, because their season is going to end in heartbreaking fashion unless Britain with the cross. It's Whittaker, another important block. Sarmiento, another block. There's Britain. A wall of saints defending stoutly for Southampton.
Oh, here comes the goalkeeper. Sol Bryn is up.
The Teessider rushes forward, trying to rescue his club. Corner towards Bryn, taken off his head, he's away from home. And here's Sarmiento. Still 90 seconds to play. Sol Bryn scurries back. Azaz. Wellington leaned out of it and gets the free kick.
Just silly challenge.
Heartbreaking, absolutely heartbreaking for Middlesbrough. But look at the rest of this place. And listen to that noise. Straight out of play by Manning. The final 30 seconds of this championship playoff night, which has gone deep into the night. The city on the south coast, a famous port city, about to celebrate. They're about to set sail on another adventure to Wembley, unless Middlesbrough can salvage this. Wood in the way. Britain. The assistant referee has stepped onto the pitch here. The game is carrying on, but the whistle has long been blown. It's a yellow card for Larin, and it's a free kick for Middlesbrough.
Here comes Sol Bryn again. Well, this is it right here, isn't it? Last roll of the dice.
This is the season for Middlesbrough. Southampton are nearly there. Melander. It's Hansen. It's high. It's wide. And that could be the end for Middlesbrough. It is! A wave of sound surges down the Solent. Southampton have unfinished business at Wembley. They've got unfinished business in the Premier League.
We knew it was going to be attritional over 2 legs. 2 wonderful teams, but only one of them could make it. It's commiserations to Middlesbrough, and it's congratulations to Southampton. They had to dig deep, particularly in that first half at the Riverside, where really his team should have had at least 1, if not 2 or 3 goals. But it can be a season that they're proud of. Middlesbrough, it's come to nothing, but they should be proud of it. As for Southampton, they go on with an opportunity to get back to the promised land. They'll have to overcome a Hull side, but that's the challenge.
Tears on the T's, smiles on the Solent. You never know, this might not be over yet because of what's gone on in the last week or so. But tonight, right now, Southampton are in to the richest game on the planet. They will contest it against Hull City at Wembley. Tears for the Teesside of Dale Fry. Southampton have beaten Middlesbrough by 2 goals to 1.
Yes, what an evening of action on the south coast. St Mary's erupted when Shea Charles' cross-come shot went in. Heartbreak for Middlesbrough. Curtis Davis and Joby alongside me. Wow, what an evening that is. The playoffs in a nutshell, isn't it, Job?
Yeah, absolutely. A tie that was full of drama even before a ball was kicked, and plenty of it once the action started on the football pitch. And I've got to say, it had absolutely everything tonight. Again, opportunities, goals, the work rate of both teams are fantastic. And again, a great spectacle for everyone.
Let's get some Southampton reaction now on the pitch with Jonathan Oates.
Shay, well done. One way or another, you've scored the goal that gets Southampton to the Championship playoff final. What was it like seeing it go in?
I know, I thought I'd put it into an area, and it's gone all the way through and gone in. But yeah, it's an incredible moment.
So you're not even pretending it was a shot then?
It was. Really? A cross shot, you know.
A cross shot, okay. Ryan, what do you think, cross shot?
Oh, it's always a shot, no matter what. Unless it gets headed in, then it's a cross. But no, it was a brilliant ball. I feel like once we got back in the game, we started to get on top, and I felt like we often puffed a bit. We didn't really have that killer final ball until Shea then put in a brilliant cross. It was probably the first ball of proper quality that went in, and thankfully he scores a lot of goals at that time.
You really had to dig in, didn't you, Shea? It was such hard work, wasn't it?
Yeah, you know, when it goes such a time, you know, none of us are used to play extra time really. Maybe once this season, or twice maybe. But no, yeah, really tough, but against a really good team, and thankfully we came out on top.
Did you ever think that goal was going to come, Ryan? Because you just kept pushing, didn't you?
Yeah, look, it was one of them games. I think probably in the first game, I don't know how they didn't score. Probably at times today we should have scored. We had chances, balls ricocheting around the box. I thought it was going to be a penalty shootout. In the last 10 minutes I was thinking, oh no, here we go again, more penalties. But yeah, and then I felt like we dug in really well the last 5-10 minutes, where we kept our shape well, a couple of shots that we blocked and saw the game out. So yeah, unbelievable.
Well done. We'll let you go and celebrate, but first, Shea Charles, Sky Bet Player of the Match. Thank you.
Yeah, what an end to this game. There were just a couple of minutes left in extra time, Curtis. And sometimes you need a little bit of luck, and there was a touch of fortune, wasn't there, about what Shea Charles did there?
Yeah, it was like a battlefield out there. As we see, one's gone down with cramp, then Luke Haley makes a tackle, he goes down with cramp, and it literally just landed to Shea Charles, who, I think if he's honest, tries to put across him, just puts it into an area, and we can't tell if Dale Fry tried to leave it, we can't tell if he's just missed it, but it's ended up just nestling into that side netting and sent Southampton to Wembley. What a way to finish a game, and listen, I've been both sides of this, so commiserations to Borough as well. They'll be absolutely gutted, but Southampton, it's their night tonight.
This place is absolutely bouncing, Joby. Of course, things may unfold in different ways. We know there's more to come on that, and Spygate, we've talked about it, but right now, right here, these Saints fans have seen a phenomenal finish to the season here in the normal league, but now in the playoffs as well. What a night for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And listen, there's obviously been a lot of discussion beforehand, but that's nothing to do with the fans. And I'm sure they were quite disappointed by some of the things that everyone else was here, and they just want to come, they want to support their team. They did that tonight. I've got to say, the atmosphere in here was incredible from even before kick-off outside the ground. And sometimes to get through these tough games where there's nothing in it, that little spark from the crowd that gives you that little bit of energy, and they really did drive this team on tonight. And it felt as though the later the game went in normal time and way into extra time, Southampton were the team that were the most likely to find that goal, that little bit of extra energy, that bit of zip. And in the end, listen, albeit a very, very fortunate one, and they're very, very happy to say the least.
Absolutely, St Mary's is full of joy this evening, and they are confirmed Southampton, and they will be at Wembley on May the 23rd, where they will face